Okay.
Well, let's resume our meeting.
Members outside to come back. Members, so we've dealt with more than 10 motions this morning, but together with during the 15-minute break, the ones that we've received before then or during the break altogether, we've got 97 motions in total. I can see that members, I think we are moving. I can see how you feel about the progress of this meeting. As chairman of the PWSC, I have the responsibility to ensure that the meeting progresses efficiently. Of course, I will also protect members' rights to move motions in accordance with the rules of the committee. I've closely monitored the progress of the meeting, and I've tried to be fair in exercising my duty as chairman. Just then, several times I reminded colleagues that if they have any motions, please try to give them all to me in one go, so that we can deal with the motions seriously and ensure that the meeting will be actually progressing efficiently. I'd like to handle these motions first, and afterwards I will ask members whether they'd like to propose to the Finance Committee and to vote on where to enhance the level of the project to Category A. Now let's deal with motion 16, moved by Albert Chan. I think we need to vote. You've approved voting. How many have you approved so far? Let me tell you, so far, during the 15-minute break, I received more motions. So we haven't dealt with all the motions. So of the motions dealt with so far, they numbered. I think we can vote on motion 16 to 40. After that, we will still need time to go through motions. Now let's move on to motion 16. Moved by Albert Chan, but he's not here, so it can't be raised. 17, also moved by Albert Chan, but he's not here, so we can't deal with that. Motion 18, moved by Albert Chan, but he's not here. Motion 19, also moved by Albert Chan, but he's not here. Motion 20, moved by Albert Chan, but it's not here. 21 also moved by Albert Chan. 22, moved by Albert Chan, he's not here. 23, Albert Chan, but he's not here. 24, Albert Chan, he's not here. 25, he's not here. So I won't deal with these motions for now. Okay, motion 26, moved by Fernando Zhang. It's shown on the screen, the motion. So please vote on this, whether you agree with dealing with this motion. This is the motion raised by, moved by Fernando Zhang in accordance with Rules 32A of our rules of this committee. Those in favor, please raise your hands. Fernando Zhang asked for voting by name, so please read out the motion then, Mr. Zhang. Okay, based on Rules 32A of the this committee, I moved the motion that based on this works 768CL is based on public views received under the strategy to optimizing land supply But based on the fact that since the first and second stage of public engagement for the strategy, in that consultation, 85% of the public objected to the idea of reclamation to increase land supply. So I urge the government to face up to the opposition to reclamation expressed in first and second stages of the consultation. And so we should not object the clear views expressed against reclamation under the views collected for the six-pronged approach to increase land supply. So now it's time to show the voting results. There were 15 members present, those in favor 3, against 10, abstention 0. So the motion was rejected. Next motion is 27, number 27. Do you all agree with dealing with this motion moved by Fernando Zhang? Moved according to rules 32A of our procedures. Those in favor of voting on this, please raise your hands. Okay. We'll vote by name. Okay. You ring the bell for 1 minute.
按照公務小組會議程序第 32A， 我動議
Based on Rule 32A of the procedures, since Work 768CL was based on public opinions collected in response to the strategy on optimizing land supply, since the first and second stages of public engagement for the strategy, under that consultation, the administration dodged giving an answer on where the artificial island will be made, even though the government announced the location to the media, but that misled the public into thinking that the chosen location was a result of consultation. But that's, I think, contrary to justice. So we urge the government to clarify publicly that the location chosen had not been subject to public consultation. So it's now time for voting. Okay, voting finished. Let's show the voting results. Members, there are 50 of them present, 5 in favor, 9 against. So this motion was rejected. Next one is motion 28. Let's put this motion to vote. That we agree to deal with this motion, to vote on it. Move in accordance with 32A, rules 32A of this committee. Those in favor, please raise your hands. Okay, you want to have members voting by name. Okay, please read out your motion. Based on Rule 32A of the Rules and Procedures of the Committee, I move that since Project Works 768CL is based on the public opinions received for the optimizing land supply strategy, since in the second stage consultation paper for this strategy, the administration suggested 5 locations and options for artificial island, but it did not disclose the choice of location of Khao Yi Chao as the site of the artificial island. We urge the administration to explain on what grounds did it hide or did not tell the public nor the development panel of Electrical that it had all along considered Khao Yi Chao as the site. Okay, so it's now time for voting. Before I announce the voting results, please check your votes. Okay, time's up, and let's show the voting results. 16 members present, 5 in favor, 10 against, so abstention 0, so the motion was rejected. I think we need to deal with the procedures. When it's my turn to deal with the motions, please, can you handle other members' motions first? I'll be back shortly. Actually, the next, I think, up to motion 14, well, there won't be any motions moved by you. Up to motions 14, they will all be motions moved by Fernando Zhang and Gary Fan. So, okay, just check your time later on. Okay, motion 29, those in favor of voting. That is, we agree with dealing with this motion 29 moved by Fernando Zhang. Those in favor with this? Okay. All right, we'll ring the bell for 1 minute. Fernando Zhang, please read out your motion. Based on Rules 32A of the Rules of Procedures of this committee, I move that since Project 768CL was based on the public opinions received for the optimizing land supply strategy, and based on the consultation process, and there were 5 possible locations, and Pt2 was never given to the public as a potential site for the public consultation in the second stage. So our committee thinks that the choice of Pt2 as the site had not been subject to the second round of consultation. Therefore, the government need to launch a new round of consultation. Sorry. I think there's something wrong with the system. Okay, we'll have 1 minute again. I think some members couldn't vote. Could you vote? The time was not shown there. So you have all voted? Okay. But there's no time shown there on the machine. Okay, time's up for voting. Let's show the voting results. Okay, there are 15 members present. 4 of them were in favor, 10 were against, abstention 0. So the motion was rejected. Next one. I'll put this motion to vote. That is, our committee agrees to deal with this motion moved by Gary Fang. The one shown on the screen, motion 30. Okay, we'll ring the bell for 1 minute. Fernando Zhang, this is your motion. Yes, based on Rules 32A of the Rules of Procedures of the Committee, I move that since Project 766CL was begun based on public opinions received for the optimizing land supply strategy, and since, according to NSB of the report given out in the second stage of consultation, 80% of the respondents disagree with the need for increasing land supply. Therefore, we think that the government should review again whether the public supports building an artificial island in the central waters.
Yes, sir.
So it's now time for voting. Members, please check your votes. Times of voting, please show the voting results. Of the 40 members present, 4 in favor, none against, 0 abstentions, so the motion was rejected. So now we are here to deal with the next motion, move according to Rules 32A. Motion 31. Those in favor of voting on this, please raise your hands. Okay, the bell will ring for 1 minute. Fernando Zhang, can you read out your motion? Based on Rule 32A of the Rules of Procedure of this committee, I move that since the waters near the entire island, in the waters near it, or proposed reclamation works cover up to 1,500 hectares, equivalent to 15 Pt2 in size. But our paper PWSC 141511 paragraph 6 proposes that there be large-scale reclamation in the central waters. Our committee thinks that the artificial island in central waters project actually violate the public's strong opposition, or overrides the public's strong opposition against reclamation. Okay, it's now time for voting. Before I announce the voting results, members, please check your votes. Okay, let's show the voting results. 40 members present, those in favor 4, against 9, 0 abstention. So the motion was rejected. Motion 32. So we'll put a vote whether we should agree to deal with this motion moved by Fernando Cheung according to Rule 32A of the Rules of Procedures of this committee. Those in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, the bell will ring for 1 minute. Fernando Cheung, please read out your motion. I move that since the project was 768CL was based on public opinions expressed towards the optimizing land supply strategy, and the report, the summary of the report for the public engagement showed that most people supported building the artificial island for land reserve purpose, followed by commercial development. But the chief executive, in its policy address, proposed building a core business district on the artificial island, the third core business district there, and this actually runs contrary to the result of the research report. We think that the East Lantern Metropolis concept actually overrides the research results of the optimizing land supply study, and C.Y. Leung has ignored the results of the consultation. That's worrying. That's a pity.
Voting now begins. Before I declare the voting results, please check your votes. Voting is now closed. Display voting results. 14 present, 4 for, 9 against, no abstention. The question is negatived. We now handle the question of whether or not the meeting agrees to handle Motion 33 moved by Dr. Fernando Cheung. Those in favor, please raise their hands. The division bell will ring for 1 minute. Sir Fernando Cheung, please read out your motion. In accordance with paragraph 32A of the procedure, I suggest that the project should start in accordance with public opinion. However, the categorization of aspects of specific concern was used to reflect most views received. I'm of the view that this is false consultation, and there's the suspicion that they want to cheat the public and the Legislative Council. There is no English version for the motion. The Chinese version was shown on the screen. Voting begins. Before I declare the voting results, please check your votes. Voting is now closed. Display voting results. 14 present, 4 for, 9 against, no abstention. The question is negatived. The next question is whether or not the meeting agrees to handle Motion 34 moved by Dr. Fernando Cheung. There's no English version for the motion. The Chinese version is shown on the screen. Dr. Fernando Cheung claims a division. The bell will ring for 1 minute. The motion says that before obtaining electrical funding on the 9th of April 2014 through the Internet, invitations for bidding intent were already uploaded on this artificial islands project. And it was requested that applicants should submit their letters of intent by the 23rd of April. This should be strongly recommended by this meeting because the administration had bypassed the electrical. So this meeting requests that the administration renders the tendering invitation void. Voting now begins. Before I declare the voting results, please check your votes. Voting is now closed. Display voting results. 14 present, 4 for, 9 against, no abstention. The question is negatived. The next question is whether or not the subcommittee agrees to handle Motion 35 moved by Dr. Fernando Cheung under paragraph 32A of the procedure. Those in favour, please raise their hands. The division bell will ring for 1 minute. There's no English version for the motion. The Chinese is shown on the screen. The motion means that before obtaining funding approval from the LegCo, the administration already published invitations for submission of bids through the internet on this project. It was also requested that applicants submit their letters of intent by the 23rd of April. This subcommittee requests that the administration explains how many submissions were received and if the LegCo vetoed the relevant applications, would the government need to compensate the applicants? Voting now begins. Before I declare the voting results, please check your votes. Voting is now closed. Display voting results. 14 present, 4 for, 9 against, no abstention. The question is negatived. The next question is whether or not the subcommittee agrees to handle motion 36 moved by Mr. Gary Fang. I rule that this motion duplicates what had been handled before, so this would not be handled. Motion 37. That's similar to motion 29, duplicating the content of motion 29. Or in motion 37, the question is that the subcommittee agrees that this subcommittee handles motion 37 moved by Mr. Gary Fan under paragraph 32A of the procedure. There is no English version for the motion. The Chinese is shown on the screen. The motion says that as there are no specific options for these artificial islands, reclamation outside Victoria Harbour was actually the most unpopular options according to the public. So the PWSC urges the administration to carry out public consultation first, that means again, before starting Project 768CL. Voting now begins. Before I declare the voting results, please check your votes. Voting is now closed. Display voting results. 12 present, 2 for, 9 against, no abstention. The question is negatived. The next question is whether or not the PWSC should handle motion 38 as moved by Mr. Gary Fan under paragraph 32A of the procedure. The Chinese version is now shown on the screen. There's no English version. I claim a division. The bell will ring for 1 minute. The motion says that the PWSC urges the administration first complete the assessment study on these artificial islands in relation to environmental impact for reclamation as well as benchmark assessment before starting Project 768CL. Voting now begins. Before I declare the voting results, please check your votes. Voting is now closed. Display voting results. 13 present, 3 for, 9 against, no abstention. The question is negatived. The next question is whether or not the PWSC agrees to handle motion 39 moved by Mr. Gary Fan under paragraph 32A of the procedure. Those in favour, I claim a division. The bell will ring for 1 minute. There's no English version for the motion. The Chinese is shown on the screen. The motion says that as these artificial islands works will affect the Chinese white dolphins in Hong Kong waters such that they cannot live in these central waters again, the PWSC urges the administration to first establish a marine park in the waters to the west of Lantau such that the Chinese white dolphins can rest in the marine park before starting project 768CL. Voting now begins. Before I declare the voting results, please check your votes. Voting is now closed. Display voting results. 15 present, 4 for, 10 against, no abstention. The question is negative. Now, the question is whether or not to handle motion 40 moved by Mr. Gary Fan under paragraph 32A of the procedure. Motion 40. Those in favour, please raise their hands. Mr. Fan claims a division. The bell will ring for 1 minute. There's no English version for the motion. The Chinese is shown on the screen. The motion says that as marine ecology is closely related to a number of factors, the central islands works in the artificial islands in the central waters will affect the overall water quality beyond the central waters of Hong Kong, thus affecting the environment. Thus, the PWSC urges the administration to undertake to carry out a strategic environmental impact assessment study for 768CL, which should also cover the environmental ecological impact beyond the area for 768CL before starting 768CL. Voting now begins. Before I declare the voting results, please check your votes. Voting is now closed. Display voting results. 14 present, 4 for, 9 against, no abstention. The question is negative. We've handled 40 questions. Now we have received a total of 147 motions. Here I'd like to ask members whether there are new motions or are there any more motions to be submitted. Dr. Fernando Cheung, also from Mr. Fan, but I have a question. I don't have new motions now. Just now Mr. Albert Chan was not in the conference room. He actually had 10 motions, but he was not present, so he could not move those motions. So can I copy those 10 motions and move the motions on behalf of him? We have to handle these motions. Any more? Mr. Gary Fan, you still have some more motions? No more. I just want to ask whether I can copy Mr. Albert Chan's motion and move them on behalf of them. No more from Mr. Gary Fan. What about Dr. Fernando Cheung? For the time being, no. Dr. Fernando Cheung, you understand that we need to scrutinize the motions and the papers. So such motions will affect the flow of the meeting. So if you have further motions, please submit them now. Although there are no clear principles on the moving of such motions, so I'm not drawing a line. So I allowed members to submit such motions. We need to carefully scrutinize these motions, and you must allow me a reasonable time to deliberate on these motions. Any more? So that's all? Well, do give me some time to go over the motions. Because there are quite many motions, I need quite some time to go through them. So we'll resume at 10:15. There are over 100 motions. Well, we've just received a new pile of motions. Just now, the three members said that they would no longer move motions. Apart from these. Oh, you still have 10 more? All right, I'll accept those 10. For the sake of the flow of the meeting and to be fair, that should be the last batch. I do need time to go through the motions. I think today we don't have sufficient time to go through all these motions. I hope that we can find time to go through these motions. All right, we'll resume at 10:15.